Hey, in this lesson, I'm going to show you how to use the Helium 10 CRM extension. I'm going to show you how to use it from A to Z. So we're going to go through all the features of the CRM extension here, through Xray, through ASIN Grabber, through Profitability Calculator, through inventory levels, review insights, and a bunch of other stuff that's connected to the Scrum extension. So by the end of watching this lesson, you're going to know how to use it all and hopefully in a good way. Also going to tell you that in the resources section of this lesson, you're going to find the link to get the CRM extension for free and to try it out, along with a free Helium 10 account and some discount coupon codes for you. And also we're going to be talking about what makes a good product to sell on Amazon or not, like where you're going to be analyzing products with the CRM extension, like which things we can look at in order to understand kind of is a product good or not good. And so we're going to talk about that as well. So hope you're going to enjoy this lesson, and let's start right now. So for example, as you remember in the previous lessons with the black box, I showed you tons of ways to find products. And say you find some specific product and you want to analyze it further. So how do we do that? So say we found this product, kitchen scissors, right? We're going to Amazon, we're typing in kitchen scissors. Maybe you found it through black box and we've got it here. And we have this whole page of kitchen scissors. Now let's start with the first part of the CRM extension. And it adds this little thing in the search, as you can see here above the scissors. It has like some criteria, so it's going to be easier for you to conduct your product research. What exactly it gives you here? It gives you the best seller rank in the category here, and it gives you the category, and it gives you the category of the product. So this is number 2 in kitchen shears, in kitchen and dining, right? That's the best seller rank, the BSR. Then we have the ASIN, which is the ASIN of the product, and you can see it's here straight away. Also, there's some other kind of criteria you can see. So if you click here on show, and again, it's going to be above any given product. So if you want to see more information about that specific product, that's what you do. So for example, we have this kitchen shears by Salon, and we click here on show, and it's going to bring this graph here and a few things. So let's see what we see here. First, I'm going to go through the lower part, the upper part. Essentially, what we see here in this lower part is the product information, which is the same part that you can see on listing, but it just pulls it here, so it's going to be more comfortable for you. You're going to see the color of the product, dimensions, the weight of the product, the brand, the ASIN, the model number, the amount of custom reviews here, the rating of the reviews, again, the best seller rank. Then is it discontinued by manufacturer? No, it's selling now when it was first available, and also some warranty and support. So this one gets pulled straight away from the page of the product. And then we have this graph here. Now, what does this graph give us, and what the hell is that graph? It's going to give you like the sales history of this product. So we have the sales history of this product from all time. So we have the beginning of his sales history. He started selling somewhere in middle of 2019. And on the left here, we see the price of the product. And in the lower part, we see the date. And on the kind of the graph itself, we see different things such as the sales rank, the best seller rank, the price of the product, and the list price. The list price is usually a price that's inside of Amazon, so we're not really seeing that as customers, but we do see the new price. So we should be looking at the new price, and that's what we see here. So for example, let's take the 34th on the 8th, that's the 8th is August, 34th of August 2019. This product was priced $7.99 and the sales rank was 2,355, and it just goes for different times and different dates, and this way you can kind of see how the product is performing. Now, as you can see here, it got launched very well. So as you can see, the best seller rank keeps dropping down, down, down. The lower the best seller rank, the more sales the product gets. So it's like a nice way to get a bit more information about a product. That's the first part the extension gives you. Also, you can see that it's sold by FBA seller. There's 6 sellers on the listing, and another option here is to calculate fees. So if you straight away want to see what are the fees of a given product when you're searching for a niche, just in terms of like if you want to see it fast, so you can click here and calculate fees, and it's going to take you to the Profitability Calculator. And actually, I would like to talk about a bit later when we're going to be inside a given listing on Amazon. We're going to be doing that in a later part of this lesson. But essentially, it's just a calculator for profitability. We're going to get to that in a bit in this lesson, so let's not do it now. But you also see the calculator here. So in case you want to quickly calculate fees of this product, as you can see the weight, the size of the product, the category. But again, we're going to dive deep in this a bit later on. That's a little nice addition, this kind of in search addition of the CRM extension. Is just going to quickly show you the BSRs of a product on the first page. And this way you can kind of see and scan the niche before you even start doing anything about it. Now let's deep dive into the CRM extension itself. It's up here. So first we're gonna have the Xray and the ASIN grabber, and these three only work once you enter a specific listing. So the profitability calculator, inventory levels, and review insights will only work on a given listing. So we're gonna do that after we get inside a specific listing. Let's just quickly input the Xray, the product research, in order to scan all the products on the page. So again, for example, we found a product on Blackbox or any other way you found a product, it doesn't matter really, but you get here on a big page of products, and instead of going one by one, you can turn on the Chrome extension to scan all the product on this given page. And let's see what all this information gives us. I'm gonna walk you step by step here. So first, we have the kitchen scissors keyword up here and the search volume of this keyword. So we can see the monthly searches of this keyword up here. Then on the right here, we see source on Alibaba. That's something we're gonna do after I finish going through all this part. Essentially what you do here is once you click on source on Alibaba, we can see like the suppliers for this product. So let's get to that in a bit. Before we get to that, let's walk through other things here on the Chrome extension. So first, as we have seen previously, we see the search volume of this product. Then the Chrome extension says select up to 10 ASINs to run a keyword search in Helium 10 Cerebro. So what you can do is you can take a few products here and you can put them in Helium 10 Cerebro. Cerebro is a tool that allows you to extract keywords from a given ASIN to Cerebro, essentially extract keywords from a given product and see where it's ranking on Amazon for this specific listing. For example, these kitchen scissors are going to be ranking on the keyword kitchen shears, kitchen scissors, big kitchen scissors, etc. Now, I'm not going to show you how to use Cerebro in this lesson. However, I have another free course here on Udemy. So I do recommend you, after you go through this product research course, you can go through my Amazon listing optimization course with Helium 10. Again, it's a free course here. It's about 2 hours. Also, it's a free course. And there I show you how to find the right keywords for your product. Like, it's a very in-depth course, step by step. So we also use this part Cerebro, but we're not going to do it right now because this is more connected to product research. But again, you can take a few products from here and run them in Cerebro. Just see where they're ranking on Amazon by using Cerebro. All right, Cerebro is a tool that takes keywords from a given listing and shows you where the specific listing is ranking. Right, and this way you can see what are the good competitors doing and where are they ranking. All right, but that's something that you can find in the other courses, again, free here on Udemy. And what are the other things we can see here? We can see the total revenue of the listings that is scanned here. So it's scanned here a bunch of listings, and to be more exact, 60 listings. From the first and the second pages here, right? And what we can see is the revenue is $1,207,207 of all these products. The average revenue we can see here, the average BSR of all the listings, the average price, and the average amount of reviews. Next here is success score, and success score is essentially that score that Helium 10 gives you, and again, it's based on robots, so I wouldn't look at that too much, but it just gives you like what is the chance of you as a seller selling in this niche and how easy it is and how good that niche is. So for example, here, as you can see, the price here is average and this low cost and low profit niche. We have sales standard deviation, so the market is dominated by a small group of sellers, mature restricted market. So as they say here, there's like pretty small group of sellers that eat most of the sales here. And also it says price standard deviation, moderate variation pricing. So generally, it doesn't like this niche as much, so it's 1 star, and the lowest I've seen is half a star, and sometimes you see 4.5 stars, and I'll tell you that it kind of can be good if you see the higher stars products, something there's going to be much better. I'm not exactly sure what it bases on, but once you see higher stars product, the chance of maybe your attention should be higher for such a niche, but you know, we have niches with 1 star that still might be good. But let's see what other things we have here. Here we can kind of select and delete products. So for example, if we don't want to see these sponsored products, we just can delete them. And then what's going to happen is, let me do like this, it's going to delete the ad. As you can see, the ads do not really have any impact on the revenue because it does not count the ads, the sponsored products, from everything is getting scanned. So it's just a nicer way to look at things here if you don't want it to kind of interfere with your gaze on these results. Then we have the ASIN of the product. Of course, we have the number and the position on the given page. So this is number 5, 6, 7. All the first 4 positions were caught by sponsored products. You can see the product itself here. You can even click on the product if you want to go and see the product itself here on Amazon. And then we have the ASIN of the product, the brand, the title of the product, the category that it's inside, who has the buy box, who's the buy box owner here. So for example, we see here that Amazon is selling in this niche. One of the sellers is Amazon, is selling a pretty big branded product, which is KitchenAid. It's one of the things that we usually don't like to see much, because when kind of a niche is dominated by Amazon as a seller and also by huge brand, what happens is in the sales part here, you see they're taking 41,000 sales per month. So such a strong brand, and by being sold by Amazon, is not the best thing we would like to see, because it just eats a lot of sales. Next one is we have the number of active sellers on the listing. Essentially, there are 3 sellers here. It's Amazon, maybe some other people that are competing for the buy box with this product. Buy box means who is getting the kind of the sale on the given listing. So for example, this listing has 7 sellers on it. It's OXO, which is also a big brand. Sometimes we have people who are reselling OXO products. Maybe they're buying it on another platform, like maybe from Walmart, and they're selling it on Amazon, or maybe in retail stores and they're selling it on Amazon. Usually these kind of products we have more sellers, but private label products usually have 1 seller. For example, this product Myritzo has only 1 seller, and it's an FBA seller, so it's probably 1 seller. That means that he's a private label seller, right? If it's more sellers, usually this product is more of arbitrage products, so many sellers are competing for the same, usually branded product, right? Next thing is price. So we can see the price of the product, the FBA fees, how many fees is Amazon taking per sale here, what is the amount of sales per month over the last 30 days, you can see here. So this market has a lot of sales going just to a few kind of products here, to this A Salon and KitchenAid, and essentially just a few products that are dominating the market. Again, that's not a good thing to see, because once this happens, it's hard for new sellers to get sales in this market, because they're huge behemoths. For example, Fiskars here is also a big brand of scissors and just stuff connected to kind of scissors and cutting. So yeah, and they're selling a lot of products. Sorry, not Fiskars, that's Amazon Basics. Fiskars is not underneath, but still pretty big brand. But Amazon Basics again is here. And Amazon Basics is again a big brand, and again it's getting a lot of sales. And then we have the revenue of the product per month, the bestseller rank of the product, the rating of the product, the stars essential rating of the product, the review count. As you can see here, the review count is the next part, so we can see how many reviews a listing has. So again, in this niche we have like a lot of reviews. So 18,000, 9,000, 4,500. So this is something we don't like to see as well, because too many reviews is hard for newer sellers to compete in. And as you can see here, maybe if we're gonna take a look at people who have less amount of reviews, like 35 reviews, 182, they're not making as many sales. 81 reviews, $5,000 in revenue, 35 reviews, 800, like, because the market is very saturated by sellers with a lot of reviews, so they're taking most of the sales. And that's something we don't like to see. Something else is review velocity. How many reviews is the product gaining in the last 30 days? And as you can see, KitchenAid has gotten almost 3,000 reviews in the last 30 days. So their review strategy is on point, aside of them selling just so many units that they're getting many reviews. But it's not a parameter we want to see. So if review velocity is lower for a given market, then we would like to see that market and take a closer look at that, because that means it's pretty good for us, because people don't know how to get reviews there, and they're not getting as many reviews, and that means we have more chances as a new seller to quickly get more reviews ourselves if we know how to get reviews. That's pretty cool as well. Next, we have dimensions of the product, so just to see if it's big or not. And another thing is weight. So what is the weight of the product essentially? And it's an LBS, pounds. Then we have size tier, which tier of kind of product is it in, like there's small standard size, large standard size, and of course the lower it is, the less fees you're gonna pay. Images, how many images does it have, and the listing creation date. And of course you can pin this product and save it to your list as well here. And another thing I wanted to show you that we have here is this kind of graph here. So we have the sales graph here, for example, for this product. And what we're gonna have here is a few kind of parameters. So let me explain you what the parameters are. So which one did we take? What was that? Let's take Amazon Basics. So let's take this product. We're gonna click on sales. And what we see here is 30 days, 90 days, yearly, and all-time sales. And there are a few graphs here that we have. So we have the sales, the trend line, and the 7-day moving average. Let me explain. So it's kind of clear here with the sales and the trend line, but 7-day moving average might be a bit confusing. So sales is essentially how many sales did it have in that specific time. All right. So for example, it's estimated, right? So on the 13th, say, of June 2019, It had 703 sales. That's a lot, yeah, that's a lot of sales per day, but that's just the niche and that's the brand essentially. It's a pretty big brand, that's Amazon Basics. So they have 703 sales per day and on this specific date. And again, we can see some days it drops, some days it goes up. But the next thing we see is the trend line. So we can see that the trend line essentially is growing. So this specific product is growing in sales over time, right? As you can see, the trend is going up. That means this specific product, right? Not all the niche, but for this specific product at least, this one is growing well. And what can it say to us? It means that, well, generally it means that at least this one is not dying in that niche, right? And actually this is Office Scissors that I'm seeing right now. It just ranked very well here. And I just saw the title of the product. It's actually a product that is from the office category, but it's still ranked that well here. All right, just take some other product. For example, we have, let's say this one, Echelon, and we have 16,000 sales, 15,000, etc., etc. But let me quickly get back to the graph. So we talked about the trend line, and let's take it on the all time. So the trend line here is for the Echelon, which is not a huge, it has many sales, but it's not a as big brand as Amazon Basics. We can see it's still going up, the trend line. On a yearly basis, it's still going up, but on 90 days, it's even growing much higher, okay? So it accelerated in 90 days, but in the 30 days mark, it's going down. And what does it mean going down? It means it had less sales in these 30 days than in the previous 30 days. And the other thing is 7-day moving average. And what does that mean? So we have the sales on a given day, right? But there's also the 7-day moving average. So for example, if one day had 500 sales, the other day had 700 sales, the other day had 600 sales, the other day had 555. So the 7-day moving average will kind of take the average of all these sales dates and it's going to show you the number. So again, if it's going up, as you can see here, it's pretty better because on a weekly basis, it's either going up or going down. You can see on different weeks of the month as well. So you can kind of go through it and see the patterns. But generally what I like looking at is the trend line that's going up and also the sales that generally are pretty well, but the line of the trend is very important. So this is something else you have here on this part. Also, you can again open your list of products here. You can export it as an image if you want to send it to your virtual assistant or to your friend and can discuss in Amazon groups or whatever. Then you can download this to CSV, so you can download it as a report to your Excel and kind of work with this from there. You can load more results if you want. It's going to also kind of impact your, of course, results of the numbers here. So in this way, you can go through all the parameters here of the Chrome extension, which is pretty nice. You can even play with this and see more here. And I've added like, how many products did it add? Extra 60 products. So it's now calculating all the the revenues, the average revenues and all the other stuff. And the other thing I wanted to show you here is the source on Alibaba. But before we get to that, actually, I believe it would be better to kind of talk a bit more about what makes a good product to sell. So usually I kind of wrote a few things here for you. So in the top of the search, usually, yes, and I wouldn't click first on sales. I would just go by position, all right, by position on a given keyword. And say we take the biggest keyword of the product, which is kitchen scissors. Usually what I like to see is that the top products, all right, are selling quite well. But at the same time, they do not eat all the margin and do not eat all the sales. So what does it mean selling well? So for example, for this kitchen and dining category, say the top 5 listings will be getting 5,000 bestseller rank. 5,000 bestseller rank kitchen dining would be, not sure exactly, it depends on the date and time, but say it's gonna be 50 sales per day, for example, right? So, but we're gonna see lower BSRs on the products that are ranked high on page 1, all right? But they're still not eating all the profit, because sometimes you're gonna see like here, we have this product and this product, they're essentially eating 57,000 sales, just 2 listings. All the other listings are kind of spreading the other sales around. And that's not a good thing to see because that means this category is dominated also by bigger brands, which we don't really want to see, like Amazon or any other brand like KitchenAid. But also specifically the higher listings on the page are eating all the margins. That's something we don't want to see, but we still want to see products that are on top that are selling a lot, but also want to see the sales evenly spreading through all page number 1. And it doesn't really happen with this product, but usually what we would see, so for example, the first one is selling like say 3,000 products per month. The other one is selling 2,000. The one after this selling 2,200. Then it's 1,000. Then it's 900, 800. You see, so it's gonna go down obviously because that's how it is with the positions. The ones who are selling more are gonna be in higher positions, but those who are gonna be in the lower part are still gonna be getting sales, and that's pretty cool as well. Also, I would like to see keywords in the niche itself that have a lot of search volume, or not necessarily a lot of search volume, a lot of keywords that have high search volume. So for example, would like to see, say, 10 keywords that have like at least 5,000 search volume, again, based on Helium 10. Why am I saying that? Because we're gonna have many chances on different keywords to rank high. For example, in this niche, we're gonna have kitchen scissors, but also we have kitchen shears. That's a pretty big keyword as well. So for example, if we have more and more keywords that's connected to this product and they have higher search volumes, it's pretty good because then we can, for example, give ourselves like good ranking for one specific keyword which has pretty good searches per month, and we can get sales from this keyword. We have a lot of places to put our product against the right eyes in order to get the sales. Low reviews on first page. Here is a lot of reviews, but say if we have on the top listing, say under 150 reviews, for example, for the top products, under 300 reviews, right? Not something that is hugely populated by reviews is here. So for example, here we have 18,000, 8,000 reviews. It's gonna be very hard for you. But we have some other niche where we have on the top seller like 500 reviews, the one after this has 300, and then the other ones have like 100, 200, 50, 30, and also I like to see that people under 100 reviews say they're still selling a lot compared to the top products. So for example, if we have top products that are selling, say, 1,000 units per day, we're gonna have, and they have like 300 reviews, we're gonna have people with 50 reviews that sell, say, 100 sales per day. You know, so it's gonna be kind of evenly spread through all these sellers. So in this case, it means that not all the buyers are buying only one or two products. It's evenly spread. So this is something I like to see as well. I like to see unoptimized listings. So for example, listings that don't have many pictures, and we talked about that in the black box part of the lesson. For example, products that have like 3 images, for example, and they're still getting good sales is very nice to see, or their images are not optimized at all. And so again, no brand domination, not much Amazon as well is going to be good for us. Trendy and seasonal products as well, I wanted to touch on that. So seasonal product is something that sells good during the summer only, for example, or during the winter only. And of course also no trends such as fidget spinner or something, or just a trend that we see that has a lot of trendiness about it. So something that did not get a lot of searches, for example, as a keyword or as a product, and suddenly it appeared. And we're gonna have that in the Trendster part of these lessons. If you watched it, it was previous to this lesson, I believe. And in there I explained it, so you can see just the trend of the product, like how was it on Google as well and on Amazon itself, like how did it sell throughout time. So if it's like steady and going up, that's really nice. If it's steady and going down, that's not good. If it's steady and then it suddenly blows up, that's a bet. If you are getting a product, for example, like a mask that blew up, but then those who jumped on in the beginning, they did a lot of money, and then it's like more of a competition, or you have to find more ways to differentiate yourself with the masks even, and then the prices drop if too many people jump on it. So trendy products are kind of not easy. You need to understand trends, but yeah. And also, other thing is way to differentiate yourself. So if you can find a way to differentiate yourself from all the other scissors, like some people made 2-pack, 3-pack here, some people added like something that covers the blades, right? Some others made it more premium looks, all right? Some people put it in a box, some people mix it with other type of scissors. So you gotta find a way to differentiate yourself. The better way you have to differentiate yourself, the easier it's gonna be for you to compete. And these are like things I like to see when I'm searching for products. Let's go back to the Chrome extension. And now let's talk about the sourcing part on Alibaba button here. And essentially, once we've gone through all our things, we can see if we want to source this product. For example, we're like, yeah, it looks pretty good to us. And let's see what we can do here. So click on source on Alibaba. And what's going to happen here is essentially it's going to take Helium 10 is going to open up Alibaba here in this little nice window, and you're going to have tons of manufacturers and trading companies that are on Alibaba. And what you can do here is you can filter them. So let's try and filter. So for example, we have different kitchen scissors here, different types, and simply we can click on view more on Alibaba if we want, like this. but also we can give it a bit more kind of criteria. So let's say we want to see products that are priced maximum $1 per unit. We want to mock is minimum order quantity, so that's the minimum order quantity that the supplier essentially is gonna ask for us to order. So for example, if we set on 100 maximum, that means we're gonna have suppliers that have 100 units we can order. Sometimes if the minimum order quantity is minimum 1,000, say, that means we have to order minimum 1,000 units in order to order from this company. And usually for products that are very small and simple like scissors, usually the minimum order quantity is gonna be higher. But again, you can try. So let's say maximum 200. So we wanna make a little test order of say 200 units. We're gonna have it maximum 200, right? Next is vendor rating. What is the rating here? You can see the stars here of this specific rating. We have 4.4, 4.8. So if we wanna see all the top ratings, for example, we're gonna do minimum 4.8, and it's gonna show us all the highly rated products or highly rated vendors, or actually highly rated suppliers, as much as you wanna call it. Next one is advanced filters. So we have supplier country, where they're coming from. For example, we wanna take products from China, or say you wanna take products and manufacture them in Japan. Maybe you know that in Japan, the quality of scissors is very high, or of the steel, or generally you want to try working with Japan, so we have some countries to choose from. Helium 10 does not have, for example, other kind of countries such as Russia, for example, or Israel here, but this is what this specific kind of Chrome extension is working with, because that's the highest demand countries usually there are for sourcing from Alibaba. So let's say we pick China, or we just keep it like, you know, like blank, but let's say China, or, well, let's say China. Right, let's say vendor type, we have manufacturer trading company. Manufacturer is somebody who directly produces the scissors on their factory kind of thing. Trading company, on the other hand, somebody who takes this product and sells it to you, and he's like a middleman. So they buy it from the manufacturer and you buy it from them. Now, sometimes buying from the manufacturer usually is going to be cheaper. However, the trading company might find you a manufacturer that's higher quality than the other manufacturer you found. So you have to play with it and see, but let's say we're going to choose the trading company. Age of the account, that's the age of the account here. You see 5 years, say, or this one has 10 years on the market. So the more time it is on Alibaba, it's not essentially the better. Sometimes you're going to have people who just entered the Alibaba market and they're great factories or great trading companies, but let's say I choose 5+ years just to see that they have some time on the platform, they have experience working there, so that's pretty nice. But again, you can play with that. Only ready to ship means they have inventory available right now to send it straight away. That's pretty nice to tick as well. Only verified supplier is gonna tick this box here, verified by SGS. So it's another thing for you to see that it's verified, it's real person, the real factory. Usually some do not have the verified and they're still here on for a long time. So for example, this, maybe that's a trading company and manufacturer. So this one is 7 years on Alibaba and it does not have this verified SGS thing, but I like to add it because again, that's just like another thing that assures that not as necessary that the products are going to be higher quality, but it just was verified by this SGS group. So it's like another verification, which is pretty nice to see. Then we click on apply, and then we're going to have the kind of trading companies, or again, trading companies and manufacturers that are in this kind of criteria. So under $1 for a unit and 200 mock is maximum. And I'll tell you another thing about the price is that price is not necessarily right. You should go and talk to that manufacturer and see what the prices per unit are. All right, so you got to talk to them and see, because sometimes what's written here is not necessarily right. And of course, you can get better prices if you negotiate, etc. But that's a nice way to use this addition to straight away get a product, to straight away get a manufacturer that fits your criteria. For example, we found this one, we click here and we can contact them straight away and just start chatting to them and start getting your products. Now, another thing we can use is we can go to Alibaba itself and type in kitchen scissors, for example, and we can use the Chrome extension on Alibaba itself here. So we click on the Chrome extension and we click on launch Alibaba demand analyzer. And what's going to happen is it's going to take from Alibaba, it's going to pull you info from Amazon. So if you're browsing in Alibaba, essentially you're going to find products on how they're selling on Amazon. And in the case of kitchen scissors, we're going to see the keyword here. We're going to see the search volume on Amazon again. And if you click here on the search volume, we have something really nice. And we can see the search volume history for all the time, for example. So for example, we can see the data and statistics for about 2 years backwards. And for example, we see that on January 2019, the search volume on Amazon was 28,000 in this specific day of the month or this specific week. But we can see that the kitchen scissors word as a search term, it does not go down. So again, people are looking for this. There's demand for this keyword and therefore for this product. So it's pretty nice to see the graph going up. Again, we can do a 1-year trend. As you can see, it's still going up. It did went down in June and the summer, but it did go up eventually. And 90 days trend and 30 days trend, as you can see, the 90 days trend kind of went down, but I believe that's because here was the Christmas, right? And Christmas, people really wanted to buy kitchen scissors maybe as gifts, and then it kind of went down here, so it's fine. But all the time, as you can see, it goes up. Also, we can also look at the spikes, like why the spikes happen. So for example, we have May here and we have December 2019. That was probably Christmas. And we have May the 2nd, 2020. I'm not sure what was happening there, why it got so up. Maybe May is Mother's Day or something, I'm not sure. October 17th, it got really up. Maybe it was Prime Day, I'm not sure, I don't remember exactly. But this way you can see how the keyword is performing. Total revenue of this kind of keyword and this niche that it shows average revenue, average price. As you can see, it's a bit different from what we've seen on Amazon. I'm going to explain you in a second why. If you click here to see all metrics, and that's why, it takes you back to Black Box from Alibaba. And what it does, it takes you to the niche part of Black Box that we talked about previously, and it inputs the kitchen scissors keyword here and also in the title here. So what it does is it shows specifically kitchen scissors, and products have kitchen scissors in their title. But for other kitchen scissors that we're showing on the search here, probably we just had more kitchen scissors that had kitchen shears maybe in their title or something else, or they didn't have kitchen scissors in their title but they still rank here for some reason, like the other office scissors that we saw here. But with the niche, it specifically shows you kitchen scissors, so it's a nice way to look at that. That's why I look using the niche as well. And here we're gonna have the different products again, as we can see here. If you remember this from the niche lesson, I'm not gonna go through it now because we already went through that previously. If you want, you can go back to the niche lesson and see what all this means, but essentially it takes it from Alibaba and puts it on Helium 10 to see more information about the product. We have top matching keywords for kitchen scissors, so if you want to do like a quick keyword research, we have kitchen scissors heavy duty, kitchen scissors dishwasher safe, so we can see what other keywords are good for this specific keyword, which other long tails are good, and their search volumes. For example, we can see again kitchen scissors heavy duty, for example, on all the time. Again, it's something that had pretty good search volume, although it tanked a little bit in the kind of beginning of the pandemic, right? And then went up during the summer for some reason very strongly, kitchen scissors heavy duty. And we have other kitchen scissors or other keywords here as well. You can see the full keyword list will take you to Magnet from here. Again, Magnet is a keyword tool with Helium 10. Now, I'm not gonna go deep inside it because I have it in the other free course here on Udemy. And I mentioned to you before, that's connected to keyword research and to listing optimization, but essentially it's gonna find all the keywords that are connected to kitchen scissors, and that's pretty cool here. So it found all the kitchen scissors, kitchen gadget scissors, curved kitchen scissors, etc., etc. And this way you can do more keyword research to understand if it's good for your product or not. As I mentioned before, usually I like to see at least like 10 keywords, but again, it does not have to be exactly this way that have over 5,000 monthly search volume, but here we have one that has 37, but other has like 5,000, 2,000, 2,000, 2,000. But also I'm gonna tell you something about this niche, that it has kitchen scissors inside it, but also has kitchen shears, which is the same product pretty much, and it has pretty much similar search volume. So there's kitchen shears heavy duty as well, and kitchen shears here as well. So that's pretty nice in the keywords part, but it's so saturated now with reviews, etc. So it's not the best product to start with, for example, or generally it's also lower priced. I also didn't talk about the price. The price is not that good when it's like, for example, average of 16 is not that bad actually, but if we kick some products here that are not kitchen scissors or kitchen shears, such as the office scissors we saw before, then the average price is going to be down and lower. So I would recommend you like $20+ average price at least. But again, it really depends, because maybe you're going to have a product that has 0.1 cost per unit and sells for $16. So it is good. So think about this as well. But yeah. And generally I would go for products that have higher return on investment parameters. So that's pretty good. We're going to talk about that in a bit. So we have word frequency here, how many kind of what phrases of words appear in these listings that are kind of shown here. Again, I'm going to take you to Magnet. And again, this is part of the keyword research course, so I'll go much deeper in there. But what it shows you here is word frequency, how many times a given keyword is repeated in these listings, or throughout this kind of niche of keywords. So there's scissors, heavy duty, stainless, shears, steel. This way you can understand what other keywords are appearing here. Dishwasher, so like, yeah, this dishwasher safe probably or not. There's like OXO, which is a brand. Safe, again, as I told you, dishwasher safe. Poultry, maybe poultry scissors, poultry shears. Again, more ideas for products and for keywords here. And that's all through this Alibaba and through the extension. Again, you can get it in the resources part of the lesson here. Check it out. And yes, we have pretty much all these ideas on Alibaba. Also, you can check it for different markets. For example, for Amazon CO UK, the same thing, just different numbers, of course. This way you can check for products from Alibaba itself and take it to Amazon, or from Amazon to Alibaba. So that's a nice way. That's the basics of the Chrome extension here on the kind of all the products level. But if we take a product and deep dive inside a product, let's take this, for example, let's take this Myritzo product, right? So we got an inside it. And then what we can do is we can click on the Chrome extension essentially, and we have other additions here. Oh, what I didn't say is ASIN Grabber. And what ASIN Grabber does, because it also works here with all the products, pretty simple. You can just grab the ASINs. So it loads up a few ASINs. For example, it loaded about 113 ASINs here. You can download it. Essentially download it as an Excel file and simply, again, send it to your VA or send it to your partner or someone just to show all the niche. It just shows the ASIN, the brand, the title, price, BSR, rating, and reviews. So this way you can understand what's going on with this product. Don't use it much, but maybe it might be good for you. And then we're gonna enter into a listing, and we're gonna click here on the extension. And for example, we have the inventory levels here, profitability and review insights. So let's start with the profitability calculator. It's a calculator that takes data from Amazon, and we can change some data here. And essentially what we see in the profitability calculator is what is the net margin of the product and what is the ROI of the product. So what does it mean? First, we have the dimensions of the products. It pulls it from Amazon, right? It pulls the right dimensions from the listing itself, the weight of the product, and this we can change. You can see everything that has this white kind of square, we can change, but something that doesn't have it, I can't change it because, you know, the size tier is something that's pulled from Amazon. You can't really change that, but you can change the weight of the product. So for example, if you have the same kind of scissors, but yours weight 0.5 lbs, you're gonna see that the outbound shipping weight just gotten up and the size tier stayed the same. So it didn't really affect our net here, all right? So everything you change here will affect what's down here. So for example, if the price of this product would be not $8.95 but $14.95, it would make 300% ROI or 50% margin. But since it's $8.95, it's much lower. So we have the price, estimated time in storage. Essentially, the longer it is going to just give you more money to pay for, right? More money to pay to Amazon. So in 6 months, if it's 6 months in storage, you can see the net goes down. If it's 12 months in storage, the net goes down. So essentially, you don't really want to have products too long on Amazon because they're going to be paying for the storage. You're going to be paying for the storage, not them actually, right? And we have the unit manufacturing cost. This is estimated. But again, if we take it from Alibaba and say we have the scissors in this box and it's $1.5, again, it calculates it down here based on what you've written here. I'm not sure what it was before that, 1.8, right? Then it's the estimated freight cost. So for example, if you're sending these scissors per kilogram and you're paying like $2 per sea shipping, for example, again, that's the net you're gonna get per unit, right? That's net per unit. And again, it changes based on the criteria you put it in. Unit freight cost, so it's 27 cents to ship one product of this size if you pay $2 per kilogram. It's very comfortable to understand your finances, at least here, because it calculates it much faster. You can see storage fees, as you can see, they are 0.01 here and per product, but it goes up in October, December, because in October, December, the storage fees go up on Amazon. So it goes up essentially, right? And then FBA fees, most goods, if you're selling batteries, clothes, or something else, usually if it's gonna be batteries, then you can choose. It's gonna be just different kind of FBA fees, but for most goods, this is like the normal fee for this product, 3.31 in this case. If it was batteries of the same size and weight, so you would pay a bit more for batteries, but for this one, you're paying a bit less. Referral fees, usually 15% of the sale, but again, it depends on the category, so you can choose it for yourself. And other costs, for example, if you're spending $1 for donations from each sale, you're donating to some organization, you're gonna put $1 here, and then it all leaves you with $1.19 per unit in profit, margin of 13%, and ROI of 38%. I like seeing products that have 100% ROI after you pay for everything. So if you have 100% ROI, that means this is return on investment. So you invest $1. If you have 100% ROI, you're gonna get a full dollar back. So you're gonna have now $2 kind of thing, right? So the higher the ROI is better. Now I like finding products that after checking all the numbers here, it's gonna be, say, ROI of 100%, but here's ROI of 100% before you spend any money on marketing, right? Any money on PPC, right? So if you have the ROI, say you're gonna be selling these scissors for $11.95, right? So you have ROI of 200% and 39% margin. That puts you in a better position because now you have more money to invest in marketing as well. But with the ROI parameter, and I do recommend you going to Google in your free time and checking out what does it mean, because say you have 100% ROI and you invest $1,000 in this product. You invest $1,000, you, after all your marketing, you make 100% ROI, you now have $2,000. You have $1,000 you invested, you returned it all back, but also you get return on investment of 100%, so you made another $1,000. So now you have $2,000. Now if you reinvest it back and you do 100% ROI and $2,000, you're gonna have $4,000, all right? And then you input it back into your business, and now you do the math. It grows very quickly, but some products we have even higher than 100% ROI, so you can grow much faster. So I would really look at that. So that's a profitability calculator, pretty cool. And inventory levels is something that does not always work. I'll tell you what's the idea with inventory levels? It can show you how many units the product has in stock. So for example, if this product, wait, how many units does it have in stock? Well, usually Amazon won't allow you to see that. Why? Because usually the seller here in this part of the listing is gonna have like limited amount of products you can order from him. And in this way, the inventory levels will not work. If he did not put this parameter on like 10 or 5 maximum, sometimes you're gonna see all his units in stock. But again, it works very limitedly. But what's gonna happen is if you click here on inventory levels, as you can see, seller has set max quantity, so it's 10. If he would not set as max quantity, so we could see, for example, he has 650 units in his storage. And if we check tomorrow and we see that he has 630 units and day after that 610 units, so he's selling 20 units per day. So if you come back and check it out, you can see the amount of sales, but usually it's not gonna work because many people put this limitation. So again, it doesn't really help. You can still use the Chrome extension to see the sales, but the sales with Chrome extension are estimated. But here, if you can see the inventory levels, it's actually the real numbers. But still, sometimes Amazon, for example, transfers a few units from one warehouse to another, and it's gonna make the stock drop. It's not gonna be appearing in stock. So for example, he had 520 units in stock. Suddenly Amazon is moving 100 units from one store to another, so he's gonna have 420 in stock now. And you're gonna be like, whoa, he sold 100 units. Well, no, not necessarily. So yeah, it's something that I would use, but again, it doesn't work much because many people have this limited quantity. So I would just base it on the assumptions of the sales of, for example, the Xray. It says like 2,300 sales. Again, it's estimated, but again, these are pretty accurate. Now, the next part we have here is the review insights, and this is very nice for a product research. Why? What does it do? So with the review insights, we can take from all these 8,000 reviews, we can extract the reviews that we need. For example, we want to see only the 3-star reviews and up or down. So like 1, 2, 3-star reviews of this product that are only with images. All right. So what it's going to do is from all these reviews, it's going to take a list of all these reviews that have up to 3 stars and only reviews with images, and we're gonna see them as a list. In this list, which I'm gonna show you in a second, we can understand why people are complaining about the product, for example. So instead of reading all the reviews, you can just pull all the ones with the images. So we can kind of scan and see what are the negative images that people are putting, why are not happy, right? In order to improve the product, we do that. We use the review insights in order to improve our product. So, and to create a better version of this product. So for example, we take only with images, 3-star reviews. Let's click on extract. And we have a few things here. First, we have all reviews. Let it load for a second. Loading questions, this may take a while. Here it is. So we have 67 reviews that are found. So 67 reviews that have 3 stars and lower. So 2, 1, 3 stars. And all of them have a picture connected to them, right? So we have different ones here. For example, rust prone, non-heavy duty, safety scissors, do not buy. So it says rust prone. Okay, let's see what it's all about. We click on this one, it's gonna open the review. And we can see the review. So what do we see on the picture? We see that he has some rust, and we're like, okay, if we're gonna bring these scissors, we gotta make sure that ours don't rust, right? So we have higher quality of stainless steel, for example, right? Okay, let's go back, let's see more. So this one has 1 star, rust found right out of the box. So this means like he got the product just out of the box and it was already rusty. What does that mean? Bad quality control, all right? Oh, and as well as bad product quality, but bad quality control. How do you give yourself like an option to put a product that's not good product? It's rusty product, and even before they use it, that means your quality control is not good. So check your products better, make better inspections of your products, right? So for example, let's see, couldn't handle a small bird. So that means he tried spatchcocking or something, turkey, and it didn't work. Let's see what kind of, oh, look at that. So they broke down, right? So he tried spatchcocking the turkey, which is a big bird, right? He tried cutting it, and it didn't work, it broke down the scissors. So what do? We have to see that this part of the scissors is strong for our scissors, right? Because it broke in this part. So in this way you can understand what to look at in order to improve your product. Next we have all questions. So just all questions connected to the product. Read through all the questions because you have to understand what people are asking and also what people are asking about this product. So for example, where are these made? It's interesting for them. Can you cut up an onion, right? Do these shears come with a cover and sheet? Does it come with a blade cover? So people want a blade cover because they're, putting it in the drawer and they're afraid of getting cut. Think about it. This is for you to improve your products. And then you have review analysis. That's pretty cool. So from all these reviews, from all the, 67 reviews, it found 48 phrases that are common. So for example, 2 weeks, all right? It says, these are terrible, completely separate, and a piece broke off 2 weeks after receiving the item. So what does it mean? It means that if there's a phrase that is getting said over and over again, right? That means that the product itself has some pattern that's connected to that phrase. Let me explain it to you again. So, okay, let's just extract all the reviews that they have, 4,000 reviews, all right? I just want to show you it like that. So what it does again is it takes phrases that are common for this product, for these reviews, and just analyzes them and shows the amount of times it is repeated. And I'll explain it to you why it's important in just a second when it's going to be loaded. So let's go. Review analysis. We have the term kitchen shears. All right, awesome. So that's another keyword we found. Very sharp in 240 reviews. That means that people are probably very interested in them being sharp. So we need to emphasize the sharpness on our pictures, in our copy, and show that the sharpness is helping them achieve what they're looking for. So if the product is very sharp, that means it cuts very well. That means they're looking to cut their products very fast and easy, so that means this is a sharp product. Let's see. Well made, use them. All right, use them, that's interesting. Let's see, maybe if use them is like coming here as a phrase, let's see where they use them. So I use them here and there, all right? I use them in the kitchen, right? So you take this kind of each phrase and you see where is it coming again and again. So for example, for the price. So maybe it's good for the price or bad for the price. So you understand, is it priced well? Are people happy with these prices at all? All right. Or for example, as a gift. All right. As a gift means that this is a giftable item. So this way you can see, people are giving it as a gift. That's interesting. Maybe I should use a giftable box. All right. Because they want to gift this kind of product. Some products are not giftable. So here it is. Or a part for cleaning. Maybe they come apart for cleaning. Maybe they don't. Maybe people want it to come apart for cleaning. So with the review analysis, you can essentially find reviews that are connected to this product and the phrases are there again and again. And this way you can find patterns that from them, you can improve this product to a better level. Let's quickly see if we check through all the parts of the extension. Oh, and the last part of the extension is this graph here on the page itself. What do we have here? It's going to be appearing on each page, and essentially it's going to show you the sales history of the product for all the time. So for example, we have this product since 2016. We're going to see its sales history. We actually went through that graph previously, but I'll explain it to you again. For example, we can see the date. We can see on the lower part, on the right part, we have the price, and we have three kind of lines here. The red line indicates the sales rank, the blue line indicates the new price, which is the price that customers see on Amazon, and the yellow price is something they see on the back end, so they don't actually see it. So essentially what we have here, for example, on the 24th of the March 2018, the sales rank was 146 and the price was 12.93. So we can see for this product, the price is dropping down. So it's not good. That means that the competition is going up probably in eating this product. We can see that the best seller rank of this product was much lower, but now it's higher. More competition, that is more cheaper competition. He had to drop his price and his sales are not as good as they used to be. So this is one part of this extension that's here. We can see it for 30 days, for 90 days, for a year, for all the time. Next we have inventory levels here, which I showed you. You can take this product into Xray as just by clicking here. It's the same thing. We can extract the keywords from Cerebro. From this product, again, there's this free course on Udemy that I mentioned for finding the better keywords for a product. And Listing Optimizer, we can take this listing straight to the Scribbles, which is Listing Optimizer of Helium 10, which is also part of that free course that I have here on Udemy. So I would really recommend you getting in that one as well to see how it all works. And Profitability Calculator here is the Profitability Calculator that we have talked about before. And that's pretty much everything about the Helium 10 Chrome extension. Very useful tool. It's here in the resources section of this lesson. It's free to use. For a while, there are going to be different options of it that are free. I think there's like limited amount of searches here, but it's still very free to use and to try out, as well as other things in the resources section of this lesson. Enjoy.